Our next session is brought to you by BIV Reports and driven by the global megatrends of sustainable development, urban densification and connected technology. Australasia's built environment sector is facing a period of significant change and opportunity. Uniquely positioned at the heart of growing urbanisation, we play an increasingly powerful and influential role in ensuring the built environment of the future is home to healthy, inclusive, sustainable and prosperous communities. This session begins with a short overview on the SCA Sustainable Development Goals journey, followed with a built environment panel facilitated by our own Chris Duggan. 2 years ago, SCA started working with SDG Align, along with many other built environment associations. Willem Overbosch, as the Business Development and Technology Director of SDG Align, facilitated this journey and started building a platform to support the built environment in aligning with the UN SDGs. This past fortnight, your business, whether a management firm or a supplier, will have been provided with your own company link to complete our survey to receive your SDG dashboard. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Willem to the stage to share the journey.
Thanks. Well, thank you for having us, and I know I've only got 10 minutes, so I'll keep it short. Can I please have the full screens here so that I can read them? Be the change you want to see. That's, I think, what we've been trying to do for the past 2 or 3 days, whether you're here on Monday or not. Be the change you want to see. But before we go there, we would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of country throughout Australia and recognize their continuing connection to land, waters and culture. We pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. And I'm still learning that because I have only immigrated to Australia 3 months ago and came into the northern rivers where it was flooded. So climate change was suddenly very, very close. But now towards the journey. Over the past 2 days, we've been imagining a future that is livable. Livable future. But what does it actually mean if we're looking at sustainable development in a broader sense? Imagine you're this toddler here and you've got these VR glasses that you can put on and you can briefly for a moment imagine that livable future. What would it look like for you if you would be that child, if you would be able to look at that future? And if we think about the global developments, we can see that 93% of consumers has changed their attitude towards sustainability during COVID. That's a massive amount. 16,000 people in a global survey responded and said that. And 51% of them is prepared to pay a premium. And we did a little poll 2 days ago at the Principals Forum, and we saw that over 80% of them, as a consumer, also was prepared to pay more for sustainable products. And during the elections, and we've talked about it yesterday and today, the Australian citizens have also spoken in a direction of sustainable development. 2 years ago, we started a journey with SCA, and at that point in time, these trends were not there yet. It was just pre-COVID. And we did a 3-month strategy design session with, I think it was 12 to 15 stakeholders from both New Zealand and Australia. And they represented all the roles in the Strata community. And we tried to imagine a future state. And we learned that sustainability and the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals weren't on their radar yet. But that's okay. It is okay, because if you ask young children if they can imagine a future state, and if they are going to play with the 17 goals, you get very interesting results. So what we started to do together to basically collaborate is we started to imagine what a sustainable future for the Strata energy industry could look like. And it was fascinating, because at the beginning we were confronted with a list of top 10 complaints. That is the reality of many of you today. Working closely with the body corporates, but also dealing with pets, with parking lots that are not right, with leakages, with light bulbs that are being fixed, with a lot of problems that you have to deal with on a daily basis. And sometimes you get bullied. It was part of the conference. But if you try to imagine change, and if you try to imagine a livable future, and that was the journey that we've set out, it is important to imagine what could the world look like if you look at these goals. And it is not just climate change. It is gender equality. It is equal pay. It is livable communities. It is living in a nice building with a nice environment. So looking at a larger and broader perspective brought us together, because suddenly we could all imagine that beautiful future, not only for ourselves as Strata managers, but also for our children, for the residents, for future generations that live in these buildings. And we came up with basically 4 driving trends that we've set out as a Strata community. And I'm going to very briefly stand still and say, okay, livable Strata, communities that are safe, inclusive, healthy, harmonious, create desirable residents that are more valuable assets. So it is good to do that, livable Strata. And thereby, you're already using SDG 11, for example. Green Strata, if you're addressing climate change, SDG 12 and 13. If you're addressing renewable energy, SDG 7. Green Strata, developments that reduce the environmental impacts of waste, water, and energy are cheaper to maintain in high demand. Smart Strata, using newer technologies, innovations to make your work easier, but also to uplift the comfort of the buildings of your users. And we've seen great examples of new technology being used to do that. So Smart Strata, intelligent technology solves Strata issues like access control, security, resident communication, and streamlined Strata management. Imagine digital voting, imagine the tools that are being used to make it more safe. And that was one of the big complaints. Safety was an issue. Strata can use technology to solve that. Efficient Strata, well-designed buildings minimize resident complaints, last longer, have lower running costs, and command premium rent and offer greater return on investment. So 4 pillars for a livable future for Strata. Livable, green, smart, and efficient. That's what the task force basically committed to. And that was also the moment that Strata Association was one of the first 3 associations that committed to a sustainable future and declared that they are going to take leadership, be transparent, and take action over the future. And together with the committee, we've designed a platform that has 3 major pillars. 1, if you want to move forward, you got to know where you are now, where you are today. And it is not a survey, it's a self-assessment. A self-assessment that takes you 10 minutes to do, and that will basically show you where you are as a person, as a business, your policies, your attitude towards industry change, and the way that you interact with your community. 38 questions give you access to the benchmark score, and a benchmark that basically recommends actions for future development. So it's nothing that is far away. It is very close. We give you very simple opportunities for improvement that in your day-to-day work you can use to improve on your sustainable journey. And you can use them to also educate the body corporates that you're working with, to help educate suppliers and partners. And finally, together with Strata, we're now developing a training to get your head around what sustainability could mean to you, knowing that for everybody it means something else in the roles that they play. It's a platform that we've launched. It is available. You will be directed to the link, and I think it is time to start to address the panel. Thank you so much.